I got to see that twice today because I was on earlier with.
That made me, I started laughing with the licking thing. That was
I
so
know,
cute.
I
Oh,
love that kid. That cat is so cute. So, hello everyone. It's good to see you. We are 1 hour earlier, so it might take some people time to get in, but here they're coming in. Bora Bora, you did get the cookie. And yes, you can have it because actually I feel generous. I think I'm going to give everyone a cookie. Wait a minute, I got to leave.
where you go? What's happening?
I started a coughing fit. Sorry about
Oh, I'm sorry.
that. So I've called my people in, as you can tell. They're here to pick me up. But what I'm doing is I need to strawberry rhubarb tarot. It's so good to see you. Look at her.
Strawberry rhubarb. I haven't seen you forever. How are you doing, sweetie?
Yay!
Great to see you.
Everybody's here. Perfect Health is here.
Maria.
Rose and Bora Bora.
Rose. Hi,
You,
Rose. Hi,
everybody
Barbara.
gets a cookie.
All the important people are here.
Well, yeah, that's all right. I have a meeting at 6 p.m., which is in an hour. And so we're just going to do the best we
Just
can.
scoot along.
I was eating something dry, and I think I still have it with me here. I'm coughing. But you have a message. Really, so before we came in, we were just jibber jabbering. And I learned something brand new from Lalit about Easter. So,
Well, and you're all about to learn. You're coughing. You know what it reminded me of? Here's a funny story. One of these like tragic things can happen when you're doing a live show. So I was doing a live show in Venice, Italy, not LA. And in Venice, it was outside. And so they had big lights, and it was nighttime. So you'd see, on a show, you got all the spotlights on you. So guess what? We had a lot of mosquitoes. So
oh,
I was singing. Listen to this. I take it, and when you're singing, you have to inhale in a special way. You go, take a breath,
oh
and
no,
I swallowed a mosquito.
a bug went in your mouth?
I mean, it went down the air tube, so I started coughing, and I couldn't stop.
Oh,
And they wrote about it in the reviews the next day.
what did they say in the reviews? I'm sure they
Because the
gave
whole
you.
time I like have tears running down my face. Like,
Oh my God. Was it a solo?
no, thank God there were other people, but I was definitely, I think, the center of attraction because I was coughing and I couldn't stop because that bug was in my air passage. It wasn't like I swallowed it like hamburger, I mean, it was like it went into where you breathe, and I was like, it was really terrible. I think that's the worst. I mean, you get catastrophes in a show. That was like just tragic because it went on and on. I coughed for I didn't have any way to, there was nowhere to
Everyone.
go. There was no backstage because we were out in
Oh
on
my
the
gosh.
canal, there
I would
was
have just
nowhere
walked
I could
home.
run off and drink some water. I was in
I
front of
would have just
everybody.
walked home and called it a day.
Well, my home I lived in Rome, so that'd be a long walk.
Oh, well, I would leave the area is what I would do. So, because once it starts, but everyone's been there. And so I'm sure everyone had good feelings. So
Oh my God.
Maria has perfect health, says, I love your top, Lalit. Those colors
Oh, it's
are
a
in
it's a dress, actually, Amazon. And
oh,
the sleeves are also Amazon. They're not part of it because I go out in the sun here, and it's in Las Vegas today. Is 100 degrees. Yeah, it's really hot. Anyway,
wow. She's doing
thank you.
with
I love these colors. You're doing a painting, Maria?
a painting within those colors.
Oh, I
See?
love these colors.
So
They're really beautiful in the aura,
when you have that painting done,
Oh,
Maria,
yes.
I'm going to have you on the show. We'll just bring you in during one of the shows so you can hold it up
Oh,
and bring a
yes.
brag. We'd love to
Oh,
see it.
yes. I would love to see it. You tell me, and I'll wear this dress.
Yes. And and we'll have champagne. Oh,
Okay.
I don't even drink, but I don't even know what that really is.
No, my parents had an art gallery. My father was a painter, and that's how they met at my mother's art gallery. And all my growing up life, I worked in the art gallery because we were open every day till midnight, 7 days a week. So when I was in high school, I did all my homework in the art gallery. And if customers came in, I had to help them, then I'd stop doing my homework, get up every day, every single day.
Yeah. Oh my God, I would hate that, but I'm glad you did that. I was the founding president of an art gallery that I started down here, and that went on for taught me a lot. And you know what it is, because I thought, oh, I could run this nonprofit. I'm a business owner. I've owned a business for 25 years, so I know how to do it. It is apples and oranges, because if you have your own business, you can do anything you want. If you have to rule by consensus when you're in nonprofit, a cooperative. So just like Trump, I was really lousy at running it. Anyway, I'm going
Okay.
to free up the stage for you to shine.
All right, everybody. So, hi, everybody. Welcome. And today we're going to do a little bit shorter version of the show. And I usually type out everything I'm going to say, and then I forget to look at it. And so it's kind of the same. I didn't type it out. I have a few notes, so I'll look it over and hope I get to everything. But let's just talk about what's going on this week. We have a lot of solar flares, cosmic rays, gamma rays, the Schumann resonance, solar flares hitting us with solar energy really big time. And so when that is aimed straight at the Earth, like if the sun is pointing, that ray points, the flares come right toward us, then if that had come right toward us, we'd have been really in trouble. But luckily the sun was pointing and away from us, where it shot off to the side, and it was not a direct hit for us. But we got a lot of those terrible earthquakes and flooding events and things, storms building up. So there's a lot of energy coming toward us, and all of you sensitive light bearers are feeling it. So that's been part of the story. And those solar flares kind of come up when we have cosmic events too. It's been shown that they do occur more. Mapping out scientifically the cycles, they see that those cycles will appear when there are lunations, like a new full moon or new moon, and there's more magnetism. I mean, the gravitational forces kind of interact with the sun, and there can be more earthquakes at those times. Alrighty, so let's talk about what's been happening astrologically. Well, we know that Mercury went direct on the 7th. Good. I hope you had some doors opening for you, and some communications that were better, and you're feeling downloads. I know I'm starting to feel just tremendous amounts of downloads, and they also involve the fact that Venus is ending the solar cycle. It stations direct tomorrow. So I've been getting big downloads of information. Neptune is involved also in this. So with Saturn, so we have a structure of Mercury, of communications, of Venus. That's all of the artistic things we're talking about it. And so you find that this is involving the divine feminine, and we've also got all of the things that Venus is good at. It facilitates the creative side, all of us, and it not just socially, but artistically, but also harmony, balance in our social structures also, because it's got a lot of Saturn. And so anything that's Venus and Neptune, which is a very sweet, lovely, romantic energy. So this is something that we can appreciate. That's a good part of this time. That's the higher point, is this Venusian Neptune confluence, because Venus is the ruler of Libra, but it's exalted in Pisces. That means, because its characteristic is naturally suited to Pisces, and that Neptune energy gives it a ethereal quality to the creativity. So it might, or with Neptune involved, let's say the poet Coleridge would be a good example. He used to smoke a lot of opium or something and then invent these terrific poems. He wrote the Xanadu poem like that, and half of it faded away, so we didn't get the full poem. But that's a kind of an example of how creativity, inspiration, some people use nature, we call it nature medicine, have used nature medicine, and then turn over to realize that, yes, we can achieve those same conditions that you get with nature medicine. We call it nature medicine. You can achieve those psychic states through your own meditation and spiritual path. And so this Venus Neptune time is really good for creative inspiration. With Saturn, it throws in structure and organization. I had to get myself up. I just happen to have these here as an example. I got color coded clipboards. Some of them have been unpacked from the plastic because I got about 8 of them because I have different things going on. So I get an idea for my children's show, my children's videos that I'm doing, or books and music and children's stuff. Here I got one color, a different color for this show. When I get an idea, I can just jot it down. I think I swallowed a mosquito. Lucky I have water. Anyway, so we now have all the planets going direct. So when Venus goes direct tomorrow, all planets will be going direct until like May the 4th, when Pluto will go retrograde. So we have a period when everything's going direct. So it's going to go a little bit faster, speeding. We're getting a little momentum. So hold on to, hold on to your seat, get your seatbelt on and hold on to your horse, because it is going to speed up a little bit. And they will be remaining direct, all planets direct, for some weeks. So yes, be ready for that. And get you need to get some organizational skill for all of the intuition you're going to be having, so you jot things down before it fades away, because you're going to have so many inspiring things you think of. You need to make a little note of it. Or I have on my phone a program called Todoist, so if I don't have a piece of paper, I can write a note to myself in there so I remember it. And we need to get your inspiration organized. And all of you light bearers here, you are responsible for leading the way. You're the stepping stones to our awakening. And remember that there's a lot going on. It's impossible to not remember, because you see evidence of it all around you. You see the fear-based part, fear as opposed to love, the two sides, the yin and yang forces. There's a lot of negativity, fear, and violence and things going on. And you as light bearers have to bring the revolution of where we're going to the future evolution of humanity, to Homo sapien galacticus, because we will be entering the galactic phase within a short while here, and up till 2050 we'll be evolving. And you have to begin the revolution inside of you, because it's not seeing is believing, but you believe it, then you see it. Is more like that. So you have to create it from the inside out, because if you get caught up in the fear and negative stuff, you're no longer the light bearer that we need, because you'll be caught up. You give them the power of the fear that your anxiety and worry and fear will not help the situation. So always use your little gratitude anchor and your love anchor, something that if you have a furry friend or something that I use my kitties. I tell you that every time because it's impossible not to feel love when I look in those little eyes. You just feel unconditional love, which is the nature of Venus that we just talked about, brings us back to Venus. So let's look at the full moon. The full moon is happening right away. Let me just mention, this is what I was talking to Debra about. Many of you know how Easter is calculated, but some of you might not know, and it's a factor now because it is a lunar situation. So if you think the Hebrew calendar was a lunar calendar, most of the societies that go back thousands of years, like the Chinese and the Hebrews that were around for thousands of years, the Stonehenge, megaliths, those are all prehistoric things. They are based on a lunar calendar. We're basing our lives on a solar calendar now, but the lunar calendar overlaps it in a way, or intersects. Like if you have a Venn diagram, it's two separate things that they have an intersection in our life here. In the Easter is an example of that, because Easter was from the original time of Jesus' crucifixion. And if you remember, he went to Jerusalem because he was celebrating the feast of Passover. Remember the famous table where the disciples are with him and they're eating and drinking. They're celebrating the feast of Passover. Passover is the Hebrew holiday that was calculated from, this is the way it would work, is that so this is how Easter is calculated today. You start with the equinox. So the equinox for the Catholic Church is going to be March 21st, although it's astronomically the day. It can vary by one day either direction because it's when the days and nights are of equal duration. So equal day, equal night. That happens March 21st for the spring equinox, and then again for the change into Libra in September. You have the autumnal equinox, and both of those days have equal day and equal night. So we go to the spring equinox, March 21st. Then you find the first full moon after the operational word, after the equinox. So it has to be after March 21st. It's the full moon after March 21st. And then the next Sunday after that, equinox. Then you have the full moon. The next Sunday is Easter. So it's a little complicated this year because the full moon is happening at a time that for us, it's on the 12th, tomorrow. But for people who are in Europe, it's going to be on the 13th. So they're taking that time, the 13th, as the first full moon, and it's already a Sunday. And they're making Easter the following week. If you all followed that, there'll be a test on it next week. But somebody asked me once about when to plant crops, and that is based on the lunar cycle. And there's an interesting aside, is that Benjamin Franklin was the publisher of the Farmer's Almanac in America at the time of the American Revolution. He was the publisher of the Farmer's Almanac that described the lunar cycles and when to plant your crops. So to plant your crops the first in the new moon. So not now. Now is the full moon. No more planting. It's time to clean up. Harvest your crops, dig in the earth, prepare the earth, get rid of the garbage. So in our own lives, it's the same thing. It's not the time that you best time for starting a new project, and that doesn't mean you can't have seed ideas and you're organizing, but sometimes you have to clean up the clutter and get rid of the old stuff. Get rid of the things that no longer serve you. So the full moon is a good time for physically for purges, detox. For me, I'm cleaning. I have a big box for Goodwill, another box for to give away, give stuff to myself. I have boxes of stuff to give away that I'm putting stuff in. So get rid of stuff that no longer serves you, whether it be the poisons in your body or the clutter in your closet, or things that you no longer use, that you give away to people who can use them, and you'll find something miraculous happens, because the universe doesn't like a vacuum. So when you give things away and you start that flow of giving, the other part of the cycle comes to you, which is receiving. You start receiving your manifestations better and faster. So that amplifies the cycle. So the full moon is a time for that. And it's an opportunity for us in many ways. I'm going to show you the full moon thing. Here it is. Can everybody see that, Deborah? Are we good? You're seeing it on the screen? Okay, I'm going to be able to.
It's perfect.
I didn't have time to draw lines and stuff, so I'm going to ping on things. You'll notice, here's the sun in 23 degrees of Aries, 23 degrees and 20 minutes. Put a pin in that number, because 23 degrees is the number of this eclipse. So if you have anything within several degrees of that, either way, especially in the cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, those are the signs that are the equinox, and the signs that begin the solstices, that would be Cancer and Capricorn. Especially those are the ones that are difficult, where you're having some struggling. And but 23 degrees in any direction is going to be a good one. Now you'll notice the sun is together with Neptune, and Mercury is close at hand. Mercury is together with the North Node, so this is more of a future looking full moon, involving the North Node going to the future. Saturn is involved. That's throwing away old stuff, organizing, giving structure, and Venus, your other aspect of the creativity. And the moon is over here in Libra, the ruler of Venus. So this is a beautiful time, because you can really create new artistic creation for those of you painters and artists and writers and musicians, people that do automatic writing, or just your spiritual meditation journey. This is a really good time for getting a strong impulse forward, and that will balance your energy. And the divine feminine is very influenced in this, because the moon being the divine feminine, Neptune is also a feminine planet. We have all kinds of feminine stuff happening. Mercury is in the sign of Pisces, Saturn and Venus all in the sign of Pisces, which is very feminine characteristic and very spiritual. So spiritual and creative activities and the divine feminine are in play in this full moon. And we've got Jupiter in 17 degrees of Gemini, which is a lovely aspect to these other things in Aries, because it's air to fire, and that's a 60-degree spread. This gives us, and strawberry rhubarb, I remember you've got a yod in your chart, and we've talked about this. If she remembers, a yod is the finger of God element, involves a quincunx. Here we have some quincunxes. Here's 150 degrees, the little blue lines. And here's another little blue line. Quincunxes, two quincunxes joined by a sextile. And it points to the place that's receiving the power, which is the moon here. So this is like adjustment. It's a sign of destiny. It's like our society in general is heading to getting energy toward our true destiny. And we're clearing out the garbage of the old that doesn't serve us anymore. And you know what we're talking about here, because we've seen a lot of garbage this week. That's just incredible. amount of garbage that is just not gonna fly. So don't worry about it. It's getting cleared out. It's unpleasant, but you got to keep your light going, knowing we are heading in the right direction. The moon here in Libra, the sign of balance, adjustment, and Libra also does have, along with Saturn, the structural, the justice system. So the justice system and the divine feminine are going to get a push from this full moon, and some good things are going to be happening. But remember that it is up to you as light bearers to keep your focus on the way things are going to develop in the positive way for our society, for our whole human race, and the earth and Mother Earth involved in this situation, who's cleansing things out a lot with the volcanoes and lava flows that are popping out. It's a cleansing that the earth has to do to rebalance things. So hang on to your hat. It's going to be a crazy ride, but keep your focus, do your structure, take the time to restructure your spiritual life. Now, I'm just going to use myself as an example, but everyone has to find their own way. I get caught up with the problems we all have. Oh, I got to do the dishes. I got to do shopping. I got to cook. I got to do the laundry. I have to go to work. And then, maybe the things that you really want to do get fallen by the wayside. So I've decided to do something that I've resisted all my life, which is to make time blocks of, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to exercise and meditate and get on my teeter, hang upside down, listen to the binaural beats that I'm going to do. So I get the morning routine. I have a checklist, and then I have this way. I'm looking at it rather than as limiting me by saying, oh, you got to go do the dishes. I'm going to look at it by saying, this is time blocked out for this other block here is this creative part and the spiritual part that I am not going to let anything interfere with that, because this time is blocked out. Because otherwise, the things that are more fun and interesting to me sometimes get put to last. Although it happens to any of you, because you say, oh, I got to do the dishes. Well, I will block out some time for the spiritual things, for the things for health, for the things for the household, and so that I don't leave out the spiritual things that I want to do every day. So you find your own solution to give structure, because right now we're a little bit pressed, and you must do your daily routine, and it's better to start in the morning so that you can spread that light. You have the strength to spread that light throughout the day. When you run into, people with the Trump flags and everything on their cars that cut you off, and you want to give them the one finger salute, you have to bless her and say, they are part of humanity. They are part of source, just like we are. So you have to be stronger and not and not fall into the trap. So there you go. This is sort of chaotic today because I have all these notes and I didn't read them. I can't read them because they're too messy. But anyway, I think I got to the main things, and I'll look them over, and next week we still have time to talk about stuff.
So messy. That's a sign of genius.
Oh yeah, I am a true genius in that
Yes, you
case.
are.
I have genius all around here.
We got some cool messages here. Let's say with Strawberry, she says, have definitely been feeling this crazy energy. And feeling, Kelly is feeling isolated with the Mercury retrograde.
Well, it's gone, Kelly. It's gone. No, so you're going to be liberated. Mercury retrograde has ended, and Venus will be gone tomorrow.
Awesome.
Venus will be direct tomorrow. And then all planets stay all steam ahead, full steam ahead. Well, I forget what does Captain Kirk say. You know what I mean? Full
Go out
power.
there.
Warp speed. Warp speed.
Warp speed.
There we go.
So there's no excuses for not getting things done. That's for
no
sure.
excuse.
But
no excuse.
But I'm like you. I have I do a little bit here, a little bit there. If I'm called to the kitchen, I'll eat. If I'm not, I'll pass through. I can step over when I'm thinking, creating in my mind. I can step over a mess and not see it. not see it.
Yeah, well, I'm beginning to trip on it, so I have to do something. I
Yeah,
really have to. My cats are not minding, and they're sort of enjoying. It's always a maze around here. Things are moving around, things to
yeah.
explore, but I gotta do it.
They're not minding cats, not minding.
My
Imagine,
cats are not minding. They're not minding at
imagine
all.
that. Imagine that. Just as Kelly says, there's a lot of healers here tonight. Beautiful light workers here. People who
They
are
are.
drawn to this work are attuned at a different level. I'm not saying good or bad or up or down or anything like that, but we're magnets together. Maureen says, "Oh, great! Pluto goes retrograde the day before my
Yeah,
birthday." Now, there's more to this.
it'll
She's
be station direct. No, it'll be station direct on your birthday, which means Pluto will be sending a lot of power your way. And the Pluto power is transformational above all.
I got to tell you, she's going to be 55 on 5/5.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Wow. That's weird. It's weird how the numbers and the planets work together. It just is weird. Speaking of that, are you wearing the same color I'm wearing? It
Yes,
might
and we
seem
had a
like
comment. We had a comment about that coming up. we,
and so you
we
have to bring the painting. We'll wear our
That's
outfits.
right. That's right. And Karen Doyle, I did see that just today. You are a member now. Thank you so much for
Karen,
supporting my work. Oh my gosh. And I'm teetering on subscribers. I'm at 2,800 today, but I was
oh
at
boy.
2,802 the other day. And soon I'll be 27.99 because it goes up and down, but I'm kind of stuck on that part. Oh, and Carolyn, you crack me up, girlfriend. This is interesting subjects. Please don't let that ship take you away from us. I called my people in. They're just here as witnesses. Yeah, I love that. And then, okay, so she was, Strawberry Rhubarb says, I was just thinking about that yod, Lalit.
You were just thinking about it. Well, there's a big one tomorrow pointing right to the moon. So,
Mm. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting.
yeah.
So complicated, don't you think, ladies and gentlemen? This sort of astrology has a language all its own. And here we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that icon there for Maria has perfect health. She says, I just keep being creative and looking after my own well-being and my home. I got to tell you about creativity. I hit a little block. And with my creative stuff, with my book, I got it out. I got it on Amazon. I ordered the proof. Here's the I ordered the proof. When life knocks you off your happy.
Oh, I hadn't seen that cover.
It says facing challenges for the first time, and it's an ice cream cone stuck upside down. This is my don't tell anyone that's my pen name. But when I got it, uh, Amazon has such awful paper. It's very, very, very thin. And it's just flopping around, which is okay for kids, but I mean, it'll get manhandled a lot. And so I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to beef it up somehow. And I was miserable. I talked to Kaylee actually. I was wondering how I was going to manifest something that's a little bit better. And for yesterday morning at 4 a.m, I woke up. I had the answer. I had it. It was like boom, boom, boom. And so I'm rewriting it. I'll need to have it reformatted and a new cover, not a new cover, but a resized cover because it has to be perfect. You know why? Because I'm competing against AI, which is perfect. Boy, AI is awesome. But I want to be at least as good as AI, so it has to be perfect.
Well, I think that your creation, that book, like I mentioned, I think it was last week, I was saying when I read it, or I actually listened to the audiobook, um, I said, wow, it's so perfect. This is channeled. So
Oh,
if you wake up at 4 a.m. and have one clipboard in your bed, I put a little basket in my bed with my stuff so I can find it,
oh,
in the dark. can reach for it and grab it without having to open my eyes and know where it is. I have a big bed, so I put a basket with my
I
stuff,
love that.
you know, that I can reach for it and, tie a pencil onto it so it doesn't get lost.
I
And you
just get up and do it. I just get out of bed and do it.
but sometimes you have a little inspiration that you just want to, a few
I type it.
sentences.
I
You
type
said
it
you type
and
it.
send it
Oh
to
man,
myself. That's one thing is I'll have phrases or paragraphs of
yeah.
information, and so I'll pick up my phone and text it to myself.
I have so many emails to myself. I
I
opened
know.
my email to
Me,
find the
me,
show
me,
tonight, and
me,
it's
me,
all me, all those things. I had like 10 emails to myself. But
me. Cynthia
that
says,
is
"Whoa,
so
what
funny.
nice purple." Oh my gosh.
I got my purple pendulum to match our
Uh,
energy today, so we can do our readings. I know that I noticed we got about 20 minutes to go because we have that important meeting, so we can get our readings.
well, nobody's actually asked for a reading. Uh,
Nobody's asked for a reading.
we're having a conversation tonight, and I'd love
Okay.
to
All right.
let's see.
We'll go with the flow.
Oh, Maria says, yeah, I can't read your own notes either. That's a sign of genius, I
Yeah.
swear.
Another thing, if you have your smartphone and you have the voice recorder, just talk into it. And that's a really
Yeah.
good way to do a dream journal because when you open your eyes and the light comes on and you have to move, if you have your phone right there and you can just turn it on, you can keep your eyes closed and the dream images are more vivid and they don't lose them if you don't have to move and turn on a light.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like when you wake
Just
up
speak
from
it, and
a
then you
dream,
don't have to read it
then you,
afterwards
because
either.
I'll wake up and I think, oh, that was a nice dream. I wish I could. I wish I could remember it. But you feel good. You remember how you feel when you wake up. Um, this is interesting. Strawberry says, I remember being 8 years old, sitting high in a tree, staring at the blue sky, thinking we can't possibly be the only beings in the universe. At 8 years old, hello, light worker, hello, even at eight. And see, that's what, so tell me if I'm on the right track for everybody. And I'd be fine if people don't agree. But
Strawberry rhubarb. I used to have a hideout in the tree across the street. So when I wanted to be seriously doing stuff by myself, and I was 8 years old, I would climb up in the tree. They could come out and call me, and I'd see them right over there. I just wouldn't hear them.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not coming. I'm up in my tree. So
But how many of us had trouble with our families or in being in the world basically when we're a kid because we'll see one thing and they'll tell us another, or we'll see one thing tell us the other, but we know we'd be aligned to divine wisdom versus subjective truth, and it just makes there's a struggle, I think. um, Cynthia says she's looking
pink.
for the pink moon tonight.
Yeah, Cynthia, the pink moon. I will tell you something about the pink moon. It got its name at that time in early America when Ben Franklin was the head of the poor man's almanac, the farmer's almanac that he printed. It's the first in spring and the very first flowers in America. In that place
Hmm.
were the pink. What did they call them? I wrote it down. It's a special pink flower. I'll tell you in a second. And bright pink flower, they don't grow here in Nevada, so I don't know what they're called. But I'll tell you in a second. It's the I'll come to it in a minute. Anyway, it was named because of that flower, which is bright pink, and it would
Hmm.
cover the landscape in the in New England area. Unlike Nevada, we don't have it. It's a flower that doesn't grow here. Um, Something like a hydrangea, but pink. Anyway, it's named after the flower. So the moon itself is not going to be pink.
Oh,
It's named for the pink flower.
interesting. Interesting. Thanks
So
for
it has nothing to. If you get up and you say it doesn't look pink to me, it won't. But it is that gets its name from that flower. That's the first big flower in the
It's
spring.
like God saying, "Look down."
Yeah, yeah, it's blooming all around you. Smell the roses.
So, Craig, it's good to have you here. Thank you so much. Hello to Clara. Appreciate that. So here's Strawberry says, Lalit, you told me I'd be writing a book, but I have a huge creative block about it. Got to tell you, I've been wanting to start a little community where we could get together and just say what our word count is or work out a problem. But one of the things is where do you start? And how it works for me is that you'll have a character visit you, or you would have a memory of something you experienced, and that's when the character will visit you. So it could be, that's for fiction. For nonfiction, all it is having a formula, a protocol that you write down and list it, and then you leave room between the points and then write in between and fill it up. Chapter mapping. um yeah, I love that. My brother's calling. Strawberry says she'd take a reading. It's a good conversation.
Well,
Okay.
the flower is called the phlox, ground phlox, Phlox. One of the earliest flowers to bloom in April. The perennial bloom is most often pink. Anyway, so that's the flower that it's named after.
And I'm starring a couple people decided. I'm
Um, did
just
you did you happen to read, Deborah, the book called The Hero's Journey with
well,
Joseph Campbell?
with who?
Joseph Campbell.
Oh, yes. Hmm.
That's really great for writers and getting inspiration for writing because it goes into the imagery.
Yeah, it can lead you in, but if you have an image, one thing that I've learned is that if you already have an image, reading a book about how to start is going to spoil that image. You just have to start.
Mhm.
And
So true.
people are saying they had.
But if you have a block,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
you need a little kickstart.
Hmm.
Meditation can do that.
Hmm.
And you ask your spirit guides, say, send me a sign. Ask for a sign.
Yeah, yeah.
They'd
Insist
be
on
glad
it.
to do it. Yeah, you insist on it. Say, I need a sign. It works. I tell them that story about Ahmad.
Yeah.
Okay, I was doing that, asking for a sign. I asked my spirit guides for a name. I said, I know you don't use. So I said this prayer. I said, I know you guys, you don't use names, but for me, it would be really helpful to have a name. So could you give your name? And I got Ahmad, but since my son's name is Amadeo, which is the Italian version of that Arabic word, I was confused. Maybe I thought, well, I'm confused. Maybe it's just me. Could you please verify that for me? And then the next thing I know, I get a text from Deborah, and it actually said, his name is Ahmad. Because that's what that's what she texted me, because it was referring to a reading that I was going to be doing, and it was a person involved in the reading and had nothing to do with the spirit guide. But she sent me a text right then when I made send me a verification, and Deborah said his name is Ahmad. I opened that and I was just about to start the reading, so I can't tell you now, but that's the most incredible thing after. I'll tell you later. I'll tell
I
you
love it
later.
when things like that happen.
Oh my God.
I just love it when things like that
Yeah, so
happen.
it will, it will happen for you. Ask
Yeah.
and you shall receive.
And if you don't get it right away, you say Saturn, Neptune.
Yeah.
That helps
clear
me.
out clear out the block.
Yes.
Do a
You
little
know,
detox.
Strawberry wants some reading, and I've decided to use oracle cards today. Um, and I'm going to draw out. Ooh. So I have to get my glasses on. So you've got the lock today. Oh, sorry. And it says unavailable, access denied, a closed path, a barrier or block. Weren't we just talking about this? So we're actually just singing to the choir. And right after that is infinity, which of course is our freedom, limitless, harmony and balance, kundalini, dualism, unity. So it's just like these are the opposites that came for you. So they're both available. They're both available for you. Did I surprise you with this announcement? We're doing reading. We have about
No,
10 minutes
no.
left.
I was just looking for my Pluto oracle, but I don't see it. So I've got one here that is the Three of Pentacles, and it's actually titled in the Thoth deck Works. So this is the Mercury is no longer retrograde. Get busy because it's the energy is flowing freely there, and get working, and it's going to flow. The energy will flow.
I love that. And celebrity just entered the house. Hello, Val. Valerie from Illumination Portal is here sharing some time with us. Thank you so much. We're here, we're on an hour early, so everybody's kind of, we're just going by the seat of our pants. That's how I write, is that I'm a pantser, not a planner. And thank you, Sharon, for putting my stuff up. I appreciate that. So we also have, you're looking for a question. Of course, we're always looking for questions. I want to know what's up with my son, 13th hour, picking up his dog to watch. You are picking up his dog to watch? I'm not sure what that means. So I'm going to read your son and not you. And yours is the piggy bank. And that says saving money, being frugal, reservations, saving something for later. So if you are watching his doggy, that's benefiting him for sure. And I'm sure he appreciates it. Sending an angel to you, sweetheart. I love this one. And that is divinely protected. Connect with your angels. You are not alone. Divine intervention. Divine intervention.
I used the Lilac Lantern Oracle deck, and I got this card. I'm wondering if your son is kind of like mine, being bipolar, because it's got the motorcycle rider. There you are, Strawberry, Rhubarb. The motorcycle rider fast on top, and then the turtle on the other way. So um, maybe he's got a bit of bipolar stuff going on in his psyche where he's not in balance, and energy really spurting out and then withdrawing. Maybe he's in a cycle like that. I don't know.
Cynthia has a question. Lalit,
Yes, Cynthia. Yes, I am.
so go ahead and announce it. People are just
Yes,
listening.
okay.
Read the
Cynthia said, thank you for the blessed, beautiful part. I appreciate that very much. Doing discount readings. Yes, discount readings, half price readings. So if you want one, and I have short ones also. If you want this short one, if you just have, want to focus on an particular issue, or that we can do in 20 minutes or less. It's very cheap. And then I do a full reading that normally is 300, 150. So they
nice.
can go from $40 to 150.
Nice.
So astrology vibrations, plural,
Plural.
at Gmail.
Oh, there's one who's requesting. So Maureen says, may I have a message from my husband's mother, Rita?
Lovely,
I'm gonna
Rita.
search. Let's search to see if she'll come to me. I I used to say, I've never had them not come, but then one time nobody came. So I had to, so now I can't say that anymore, but I'm looking. Oh, I have so many cards that are major cards all in a row. It's remarkable. Come on in, Rita. Hmm, no, do you have anything? You can go.
I do. I got this. I was using the extraterrestrial oracle deck, and I got the doorway, which
Ah,
is named transition. So I'm going to tell you what the interpretation of the transition card is and see if this resonates to you. But this is something that she wants to get across to you. The message: one door is closing and another is opening for you. Cross the threshold with confidence because you're moving on. This is an exciting transition and a new beginning, one that has been a long time coming. Step through the doorway without a backward turn of the head. You're entering a new and positive stage of your life, shedding a self that you've outgrown and entering a new phase of growth and spiritual development. How lovely.
that is so nice.
So I would assume that that's true both for her because she's gone through a transition, and then you are going through one too. That's beautiful. That
Awesome.
is like, that give me chills. That is fantastically
Oh,
wonderful.
I love that. I love that. I am sorry Rita did not come in. I could, there were a lot of dead people that did come in, but Rita was not one of them. Um, I shouldn't say dead, past loved ones. So I think what I'll do is jump in and do one for someone, I mean, another person that's available to you. So let me just move into that energy and ask for, there we are. Okay, it is a female and it is someone older than you, much older. So in the lineage part of things, it would be like mother figure. It is a female. It can be anything like that. And she is, her message for you, actually, I've got two of them here. Her message for you is to stand with your convictions. This is a time that you need to filter the information that comes through your ethics and morals, which I know you're very ethical and you have high morals. I understand all of that, but the message is the message. There is something that might surprise you. That's something that's hidden, that's coming up, and you will be asked, my sense is this, Maureen, and happy birthday too. Um, my sense is this, that you greet people with a full heart. You meet them where they are. You know exactly how they're feeling, so you can move in and serve well. And that's how you live your life. That's how you walk your beliefs. There is something that's coming up that will ask you to defend your position. Something that you don't usually do, but it's something that's there, and you're going to do it really, really well. In fact, every word is going to be perfect, absolutely perfect. So I'm glad I was able to add something. I'm just reading what I missed. Could I have a message from my great grandmother Mott, who was ended who was ended by my great grandfather. Holy cow. There is a story there. Interesting. Carolyn, yeah, does she visit you? Uh, I would love, love, love to know how. I mean, if I'm reading this right, it sounds like your great grandfather ended your great grandmother's life. And I've always wondered about, I just trust and have faith that we are able to see with different eyes, different perspectives once we cross over. But I would love to hear that that story. I should have you on. Let's do ghost stories. So I have a contemporary here, but not a great grandmother. Hold on a second. Did you find anything there?
I do.
Awesome, because
I
I'm
do.
looking.
Okay, I got out the Pluto Oracle deck in the honor of the ending because the
Mhm.
Pluto is ending, which is another way to say transformation, right? And we got here the card of the gazelle representing your grandma and or her message, separation, walking away, endings. That's the meaning of the card. Separation, walking away, endings. That's interesting that endings is the key word of this card when we were
Yeah.
wondering what does it mean ended. Well, okay, the arrival of this card may not be a welcome sight, my friend, but its meaning cannot afford to be minced. Whenever gazelle energy is present, it's time to walk and maybe even run away, be it from a belief, a situation, or possibly even a person. There's nothing good here for you anymore. Wow. That's a weird message to get from someone who had an ending of this sort. Time to run from this person. That's odd. Well,
No, I've got, I'll back you up on that. Go ahead.
as difficult as it may feel, consider the grace a gazelle exudes as it flees the scene with great speed and alacrity, even in the face of danger or defeat. The gazelle exudes confidence in its ability to bring itself somewhere new. There is wisdom in this energy for you too. Should you choose to ignore this card, it's likely that things will get progressively worse. So leave it. It's also likely there's a part of you already knows whether this card is what it's pointing to isn't working, serving you anymore. Didn't we just say this full moon is a time for getting rid of the stuff that's not serving you anymore? So amen. This is true for everybody at this full moon. Release fear. Recognize that the universe is quite fond of a vacuum. As soon as the space and situation was taking up is cleared out, something bigger and better will come and take its place. Well, amen.
Yeah. Amen to that. I've got a couple of things. Hello, Denise Fletcher. Um, it's good to see you. Thanks for being a member. And we have a birthday girl in the house,
Birthday girl. Bum, 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 bum,
Denise
bum.
Schultz. She wants to, yeah, we should have some ghost stories. I've got plenty of them. Um,
Deborah, it's time for your meeting.
no. I'm not through with the
Okay.
reading with Carolyn. So Carolyn, this is the most unusual um, reading. I'm really happy you said gave me that pathway to walk down because I don't think I would have figured this out. But your great grandmother came in, and your great grandfather, she is pointing to him. And because he was so angry and argumentative, he stayed earthbound. He stayed earthbound. Either that or he is so the difference between energies because when you pass over, you're able to come and be and visit. I mean, they visit all the time, right? But it's how long they spend in this density can tell you I mean, the longer the density, the more opaque they become. So that's why a lot of people don't see ghosts. They'll see a flicker out the side of their, because that's all they can produce. And really, that's all you can ask of them, that thing. But it does look like your great great grandfather spends more time on Earth than any other place. I also, and the reason I say that, a reverse judgment card. So it's your grandfather. This is the wand card coming in. He's deceased, of course, but wands are the most physically dangerous quartz or suit in the deck. There's four suits, and so when you're with someone who is a wand, when they're angry, let them leave. If they're pissed off, they'll slam the door, they'll punch a wall, and stay out of their way, because there's not much room between thought and action with it. They come by it naturally, but it kind of shores up. I do have this bickering, this kind of five of wands, just bickering and ugly and all that stuff. And then the judgment card reverse telling me that he has not actually made it where he's comfortable on the other side. Now, that being said, there is so much love on the other side that some people don't feel their souls deserve it. They can't breathe well when they're close to that amount of love. And so that too will move them closer to us more than that. So that's what that's what I know, and I'm sticking with it. Sticking with it. We are at the top of the hour, and I need to go to my meeting. I'm so sorry to do that. Thank you so much for changing the time this week, Lalit, and we will be back at the same time. Next
6
Friday.
p.m.
I'm
our
sorry,
usual time,
our usual time.
regular time, 6 p.m.
Ah,
regular time that we
yeah.
used to, not this time.
And,
The old.
and Kaylee, we have a show on Sunday, usually at 3, but it is, oh gosh. She says he needs to stay on Earth. He judged her for having epilepsy. Oh my God, he's so
Oh,
misinformed. All the
oh,
things,
oh.
and I feel bad because you have to you do go through a life review. That's mandatory, but I got to tell you, it's yeah. If he imagine the living souls, like his parents and his family and his community, how he was raised to think something like that. I feel sorry for
Yeah.
him.
People
But
used to think if you had epilepsy, there were demons in you.
mhm, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's really,
So Sunday, God bless you. God bless everybody here, and over on the other side. And so Sunday, we're going to start an hour early, and we think we're going to stay an hour early. Instead of 3 p.m. Pacific, it'll be 2 p.m. Pacific. Um, Things just worked out that way, so we're going to give it a try on Sunday. So until you guys all be safe, because we love ya. We need you. And thanks for being a member and supporting me. Us.
happy full moon. It's exact time, 5:22 p.m. Pacific, 8:22 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. 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 So we're right on
And yeah.
the money. Love you all. Thank you.